Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Welcome back to Lira and Law. Thank you very much for joining me for our usual Thursday get-together from 7:30 onwards. I hope that you had at least a good break and happy belated Easter to many of you. And again, salamat po for tuning in. Ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon Kabatbat of Douglas Simon Solicitors. Abogado po ako dito. I am in the UK, I mean, of course. I've been qualified now for 34 years. You did not mishear me. I've been qualified, been doing this post-qualification experience of over 34 years, because my 34th year came about in February this year. So I've been doing this a long time. But the last few years, especially siguro from 2023, I would say, have been the busiest and probably most challenging time for a lot of legal heirs, particularly immigration. And as usual, a lot of our questions today is to do now with immigration, although we always touch on other areas of law. So yun pag-uusapan po natin ngayon. So it's I should start always by saying sharing is caring, no? So kung meron kayong mga kaibigan, kamag-anak nga that you think may be assisted by our program, share our link. Maybe it can help them, at least point them in the right direction or in some direction, so that they can start looking at their situation, and lots of changes. So it never hurts to have a heads up, about what changes are afoot, and there are going to be lots of changes again, still, I should say, this year coming, and some may well be coming, in fact, this month. It's still month of April, and in the next month, following on from the government's information from last year, from May, when they published the white paper, again followed up in November, followed up by speeches in December. And certainly changes are coming into play, including increase in fees from actually yesterday, the 8th of April. Some home office fees have gone up. So unfortunately for some of you, any applications you make today or indeed tomorrow will be on the higher fee. So lots and lots of things now to cover today. But as I say, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you can stay, throughout. It's always a pleasure to be with you. Now, if you have any questions, marami tayong questions nga ngayon, but if you have any questions additionally, it's never too late. And of course, ang paborito ko, our section, our batian section. So it's certainly never too late to say hello. Okay, and I hope that you will later on. We're just going to take a quick break, saglit nga lang po, and then we're going to launch back into our topic. Oh, actually, I completely missed it. Let me tell you about our topic. I got so caught up in wishing you all, a belated happy Easter and all of that, that I completely forgot to tell you what our topic is. Come on. Now, marrying in the United Kingdom, process and requirements, yun pong topic nga natin ngayon. June, which is the marriage season, traditionally is coming up. So I thought we could discuss the process and requirements, and also very helpfully we have a great question nga. So ang star question natin is actually, let me just read to you our star question before we take a break, no? So let me just read to you yung star question nga natin, which of course was the source of our topic. So question po niya, hi po, ask ko lang po sana, paano bang mag-process po ng wedding dito sa UK, wherein yung civil lang, no? Ano pong mga requirements? For reference, British po yung guy ko, no? Ako po skilled worker visa. Salamat po. Sabi niya, no? So ask ko lang po. So it's a short question, but lots. I like this question because it's quite a short question, but lots of actually issues to unpack nga, no? So ang topic po natin, marrying in the United Kingdom, process and requirements. So if you're looking to marry, especially nga in June, no, you discussed it nga, you must make sure that you tune in, okay? So yung pong topic natin, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to launch back into our topic, okay? Saglit nga lang po. Welcome back po to Lira in Law and thank you very much again for joining me. No? Ang topic po natin ngayon, marrying in the United Kingdom, process and requirements. No? I read earlier on yung question po nga na nung viewer natin, sabi niya, just to break it down, ano bang proseso? No? Marrying in the United Kingdom, kakasal nga siya dito, civil marriage nga, anong mga requirements, and for reference, ang fiancé niya, is British, no? Ang visa niya at the moment in the UK is skilled workers, yeah. No? And this scenario is actually not unusual by far. So it's a great topic. Salamat po. So let me just take you through it. Let's unpack it. I'll take you through the stages nga, including the process and also including what happens if you are not British or you do not have settled status in the UK. So in this case nga, ang visa niya skilled worker siya. Or indeed, in some cases, you don't have a visa in the United Kingdom, no? So yun ang pag-uusapan po natin nga ngayon. So let's unpack this great question. So unang-una, sabi nga niya, no, anong proseso? No? So it starts really with, kailangan niyo muna magdesisyon, where are you going to get married? Now, where are you going to have your marriage, your civil partnership, for example? So yun ang una. You need to make a decision. Saan kayo kakasal? Because you need to tell the registrar that. Once you've decided, no, saan kayo nga kakasal? Because you'll need that. The next step then is you need to give notice. Notice is, I suppose it's a legal statement, no, that you give to your local registrar. So you can't just pick any registrar. I'll go into that a little bit more. Where you intend to marry or form civil partnership na. And so yung pagka nagbigay kayo ng notice, kailangan yung lagay doon sa kayo kakasal. Usually, mga tao, they would get married at their local civil registrar din. So if you're looking to marry, then just have a look now where the registrar is, and the civil registrar usually it's in the same place where you also give notice. No? Now you have to hold your ceremony. You have to marry basically within 12 months of giving notice. Importante ito. So it's not indefinite. So you need to marry within 12 months. So kung gusto balak pa nga lang nga ngayon, hindi pa nga lang kayo sigurado kailan kayo kakasal, you must make sure, no, that you are able to marry within 12 months of giving notice. That's quite important. Otherwise, you have to give notice again and pay the fee again. Now, when you give notice, so una nga, no, decide the venue, saan kayo kakasal. Then you give notice, this legal statement that you give to your local registrar. That basically you're saying now that you intend to marry. That's often referred to as giving notice. Now, you must give notice at least 29 days before the ceremony. Okay? Now, for some people, like yung viewer nga natin, the skilled worker siya, the 29 days is actually usually extended to 70 days. And I'll deal with that separately nga. Dahil importante ito, kung ang visa nyo nga hindi, kailangan yung visa, the skilled worker nga kayo, o estudyante kayo, or sometimes nga wala kayong visa, no? Overstayer na nga kayo dito. So I'll deal with that separately because it's quite a big issue also. So it could be that the notice is longer than 29 days, say 70 days. Now, so sabihin natin, nagbigay kayo ng notice on the 1st of May. That means you can't get married until the 30th of May. So that's quite strict, 29 days minimum, calendar days, okay? Now, where to give notice, that's also another thing, no? So you we've dealt with, you make a decision, kakasal, you give notice, and then where do you give your notice, no? You usually need to make an appointment. You can do, most registrars, you can do this online, but some you need to call. No? You normally need to give notice at your local register office. No? You can look that up fairly easily. You must have lived in that registration district, no, for at least 7 days. Now, you can give normally notice separately if you live in different registration districts, no? And you don't even need to give it on the same day. But there's an exemption nga, or it would be different kung wala kayong visa, for example, no? And again, I'll deal with that separately. So, so you give notice to your to the registrar. The local registrar. No, now if one of you is from outside the United Kingdom, no, you must give notice together at a register office in the district where at least one of you lives. So sabihin natin, going back to the viewer, sabi niya, okay, she skilled worker nga siya, no? So that would mean that it may be easier if you give, kung hindi ka nagsasama nga, to give notice at his local registrar, no? So you should give notice together. Now, before giving notice, kailangan nyo hindahan mga documents nyo, of course. What documents do you need, no, when you're giving notice? Originals. Importante po ito. Kailangan nyo dalhin for your appointment nga details of the final venue for your ceremony. So pagka binigyan nga kayo ng nasulat na doon kayo kakasal, no? Proof of your home address, no? Proof of any change of name. So kung nagbagong pangalan nyo dahil you decided actually you're not going to use your previous married name, for example, or iba, no, for whatever reason there's a change, kailangan yung dalhin proof of that. Why was it changed? So either deed poll document nga, or indeed the statutory declaration, the change of name deed. And of course, a valid passport, no? Or UK birth certificate. But for UK birth certificate, the complicating factor is if you were married, if you were born after the 1st of January 1983, then you may need to you will also need to provide evidence of your parents' nationality. So frankly, it's easier, probably simpler nga, no, to just bring your passport, no? Now, documents to prove your address. Anong kailangan? This is something that I get asked about regularly. Anong kailangan nyo? What would be good evidence of your address? Straightforward would be valid UK or Irish driving license, but a lot of people don't have that, at least not the ones that I deal with. Gas, water, electricity bill from the last 3 months. So kung meron ka, kung nakatira, saan man kayo nakatira, it could be that you're paying your bills, no? But it must be from the last 3 months. If it's older than that, hindi nila tanggapin. Bank or building society from the last month, some bank statements, for example. Council tax quite good for from the last 12 months. Mortgage statement, if you have a mortgage from the last 12 months nga. Current tenancy agreement, if you have a tenancy agreement, so if you're renting a place, obviously. Letter from landlord, dated in the last 7 days, confirming you live there, including your landlord's name, address, their signature. Now, the reason I say that is marami kong makalayante, they're actually living they have a room, no, in a house, or they share a house with others nga. In that case, you can get a letter from your landlord to say doon kayo nakatira, no? But that should be dated the last 7 days. No? Now, if your address is usually outside the UK, so sabihin natin usually nakatira kayo sa Pilipinas, and you're looking to marry in the UK, then you can give details of your, you need to give details also of your UK contact address. By that, yung partner nyo, kaibigan nyo, family members' address. Now, so yun, ang mga kailangan nyo, when you're giving notice, ihanda nyo yun. Okay? Now, what would happen though, and in this case nga, ang sitwasyon niya ay skilled worker visa siya. May visa siya, but skilled worker. What additional stuff issues should you be concerned about? Now, unang-una, the notice period, the registrar will tell you could be extended to up to 70 days. The reason for that is it gives the home office, so sabihin nila sa'yo, we need to inform the home office na itong balak nyo because you are not British, for example, or Irish, or indeed with indefinite leave to remain settlement status in the UK or settled status under as an EU. Kung wala kayo doon, then they will say to you, we need to inform the home office na itong balak nyo nga, and you may need to therefore wait 70 days. Importante po yun if you're looking to marry, for example, in June. No? If you're looking to marry in June, which is the traditional marriage month, then you should give notice now. Okay? Because it may take that long for the home office to come back to you. Now, the home office, when they're informed about your intention to marry, will do one of a number of things. Either they will say, yeah, walang problema, even within the 29 days notice, in which case you can then marry shorter than the 70 days. Or they may say, sandali nga lang, no? We want to just check certain things out. They may want you to come in for an interview, or they may want you to give them some more documents, no? So yun, that's my observation is that's less common nowadays. Now, or they may even say, no, you can't marry. We have we object to this because we have concerns about the genuineness of your relationship. You know, that's also unusual, but absolutely can happen. Okay? Or sometimes they do nothing at all. You don't hear from them. In which case, you say to the registrar, don't wait for them to contact you. You know when you give notice. If you don't hear within 70 days, you should contact them, or closer to 70 days, and say, there's no contact from the home office. Can we now book? Can we now marry? So hopefully it will simply go without the hitch, but 70 days you should allow just in case. So 70 calendar days, not working days, but 70 calendar days, and then you can marry. Now, let me take this one step further. Once you're married, dahil sabi mo sa akin skilled worker visa ka, pero British yung asawa o yung fiancé mo. Once you marry, hindi po automatic, na mapapalitan yung visa mo from a skilled worker to that of a spouse. Absolutely not. Hindi yun automatic. It is for you to make that application. So, ibig ko sabihin, kung gusto mong palitan yung visa mo from a skilled worker to that of a spouse visa, you need to make that application. And there are different conditions, again, from a skilled worker, of course, to that of a spouse visa, a spouse or a partner, a civil partner, for example. So that would mean, that also includes the minimum income requirement, which has gone up to £29,000. There are other things nga kailangan, which may not be a problem for you, including in English language, which we're going to, one of the questions nga mamaya is the English language requirement. So kailangan ang kailangan mong pag-isipan nga is this, or the thing to note is the extension or the variation is not automatic. Meron mga kliyente sabi na, kala ko automatic. Pag akintansal na ako, spouse na ako, which is true, of course. Spouse ka na. But your visa remain to be that as a skilled worker. Now, also, tip ko to, don't be too quick at changing it over, varying it to a spouse. Look at your time, So presently, you should, if you've been here for a while as skilled worker, could be that your your leave to remain before you can get indefinite leave to remain is still 5 years. All that is changing. Pero sabihin natin 5 years pa rin kailangan pakita. Kung malapit ka na nung 5 years, then there's absolutely no point changing your visa from the skilled worker, as long as, of course, you're still compliant with the skilled worker requirements, conditions nga. But there's no point then changing over your visa to that of a spouse. Dahil kung papalitan mo from a skilled worker to a spouse, ibig sabihin, umpisa ka na naman ng 5 years. And there, you need, again, 5 years, at least on the current rules. So 5 years ang kailangan pakita. So ibig sabihin natin maglilimang taon ka na under the skilled worker route, and actually you know that you can apply, say, next year for indefinite leave to remain under the skilled worker route. Kung papalitan mo nga ngayon yung visa mo to a spouse visa, ibig sabihin mag-uumpisa ka uli, no? To that of a spouse. So from the date that you get your spouse visa, umpisa ka na naman, 5 years. There's no point doing that, because then you're just delaying the time when you can apply for indefinite leave to remain. So beware. But of course, kung ayaw mo magtrabaho doon sa trabaho mo nga ngayon, and you're finding it also difficult to find another job, and anyway, you want to see about varying your leave to remain as a spouse because of other circumstances. Sabihin natin, you're not looking to work anymore as on that basis nga, then you may not have any choice, and it may be more practical for you to also apply to change, to vary, ang tawag na, to vary your leave to remain, which will also come with an extension to vary your leave to remain as a spouse. Now, beware, if you're going to vary your leave to remain as a spouse from the skilled worker route, as sabi ko nga, there are different conditions. No? The English requirement should not be a problem for you because you're here on a skilled worker, that the English requirement is higher usually. At the moment, kung nandito ka nga, then you're looking at A1 or A2 for the spouse visa. That's going to change. Kung ako ikaw, do at least the A2. In fact, kung ako ikaw, I would just do the B1. No? Which actually is what you require, or indeed even the B2 kung kaya mo, which is what you would require later on. The reason for that is you might as well have a qualification that you can include on your CV, you know, which is way over the requirement of A1 or A2 for the spouse visa. So, but beware, and of course there's the issue of income. And actually, I'm going to be dealing with the minimum income requirement in a bit more detail for another viewer who's posting a question. So just to summarize, if you're looking to marry in the UK, you must make sure nga you follow the process. No? You must make sure handa nyo nga mga dokumento. You should also ensure that you have a valid passport. No? I know that a lot of our passports now are valid for some 10 years, which is great. But of course, 10 years can 10 years is still a deadline, no? It's expired, so check in mo yung passport mo. And as I say, don't be too quick and make the assumption na mas maganda nga kailangan mong palitan. You don't also need to change it. I actually had a client, sabi niya sa akin, kasal na ako, so kailangan kong palitan. Sabi ko, no, hindi mo kailangan palitan yung visa mo. You can remain in the UK as a skilled worker if you continue to comply with the conditions nga, and that's what you want to do. And in that case, actually, she decided just to stay under the skilled worker route, not least because she was entitled at that point to apply for indefinite leave to remain within the 2 years. So really, there was no point changing it over. Yung nga lang akala niya, she had to because she's then a spouse. But hindi po. So as long as you continue to work as a skilled worker, you satisfy the requirements nga, the conditions, then you can simply stay on that basis, and it may be more practical for you. Okay, so hopefully, look, the great news is you're looking to marry, which I hope all works out. I'm sure it will. And my congratulations. And tell me what happens. And sabihin nyo din sa akin kung may problema. I mean, I'm always grateful for people posting their questions, but I always say nga, no one ever tells me ano ba nangyari na, no? And it's truly very much like you read the book, and you never finish it. So I'd like to know. Hindi naman chismis because it's factual, no? So do tell me, what's happened next, yeah? Now, we have questions, but before we go into our questions, let's see if there are people saying hello, because not last week, the week before, people very kindly said hello, and then anyway, I missed people out, and my apologies, to those that I missed out last time. So let me just have a look if there are people asking questions. Of course, I love this photo. May Tigbao Vargas. Hello and good evening, sabi niya, Attorney Lira, and all viewers. Happy Thursday. God bless. God bless, May. Are you well? Are you well? Did you have a bit of a break? No. Actually, kahapon, it was actually quite nice, no? Did you go out yesterday? Anyone? No? Kahapon, I actually went to the park last night. Just we went to the park just to have a bit of nagbao nga kami, no? A little bit of salad, a little bit of bread, because it was such a nice evening. And mainit pa rin until about, I don't know, alas 8, no? Yeah, a little bit more. Kasama ko yung aso ko, no? Dr. Watson, the big dog. Okay, so it's so we were no, it was quite nice evening. Ngayon, I mean, at least hindi nga umuulan, but ngayon malamig ulit. We're back to cold, no? But I hope you enjoyed yesterday's good weather, May, no? Now let me just see if anyone. Of course. Thank you very much, David. David is saying hello from the Philippines, no? David Calixto II. Sabi, magandang gabi po sa UK. Good morning, Philippines. Yeah, good morning, David, no? It's madaling araw sa atin ngayon, ano? Madaling araw. Wow. What dedication. Salamat, I mean, actually, I hope you're okay nga sa Pinas. I know. Well, I've been keeping up with news, about difficulties nga sa Pinas. It's been quite. I appreciate it's very hard for a lot of people nga sa atin ngayon because of the Middle East concerns, to put it mildly. So I hope you're okay. I hope you're okay. Regularly 3:30 a.m. ko nakikitang live. Mas maaga siya ngayon, attorney, an hour. Oh, yes. Yeah. Because he's you see, he's definitely watching live, because yes, the time change, we sprung forward. So yes, we lost an hour or gained an hour. I think anyway, it would be until about 2 weeks ago. Today would only have been set 7 o'clock, but of course now, we spring forward because it's spring. David is impressive. Egg Guy, Sir Egg Guy, the great guy from London, sabi niya, a warm Thursday. I don't know, actually, Egg Guy. I don't know if it's warm. Well, it's not raining, at least, to Attorney Lira and to the viewers. Happy araw ng, Kagitingan Day. Wow. Malalim ang Tagalog niya, no? I worked in Canary Wharf today. Good news, Attorney Lira, sabi niya. I'm ambassador of Tap Send Remittance app. Use Egg Guy the Guy, as promo code for first-time users. Looking forward to lots of learning again, and to Attorney Lira's lovely voice. Egg Guy the Guy, Egg Guy the great guy. Egg Guy is great. He is. He's a very devoted dad to Justin, his young man. And of course he's he's always working in all fields. He can turn his hand to many things. He's an impressive chap. Now, tingnan natin if this outcast. Late greetings. Happy Easter to everyone. Actually, no, ditto. Because I was just saying kanina, a belated happy Easter to everyone who celebrates nga. And I hope you're well, and I hope you had a blessed time. No, tama ka, outcast. Tama ka. Yeah. Happy Easter to everyone. I hope that. Yeah, I hope you. I hope you did. Have a blessed Easter. So tingnan nga natin. Okay. Now, so if you still want to say hello, and you're thinking, oh, maybe not. It's not too late. And so I'm giving you time to to think about what you want to say, to greet us, no? Because I'm going to go into, so you have time whilst we deal with the next questions. Nga. So let's just have a look, because I know we have some questions, some big ones actually also. Now, let me just have a look at, give me a minute. Let me just have a look at the next question nga natin. Ito. Okay. So sabi niya ito, hello po, sabi niya. Sorry, simple question lang. It's never simple. No? Pero gusto ko pong lang para sanang itanong. Sa mga dependents na malapit na mag-ILR, ILR's indefinite leave to remain, which is settlement, at citizenship, which is separate, no? Citizenship is for naturalization. Anong English test pong kailangang i-take? Dapat po bang IELTS pa? Okay. Actually, this is a great question because there's been a lot of confusion because there will be changes, no? So ang kailangan is B1 at the moment. It is the B1 qualification test is under what's called the CEFR. Now, IELTS is something else, but it's Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, CEFR. It's a standard, international standard for assessing language proficiency. Ang kailangan nyo muna ngayon, at the moment, is B1. But from the 26th of March 2027, so next year po, near enough 1 year, okay, the requirement increases to B2 level. So, kung pwede na kayo magpasok ng application for indefinite leave to remain, or indeed, if you have naturalization, so leading to a British passport, do it now. For a lot of people, B1 is not an issue. Also, B2 is not an issue. But there's a difference, absolutely, in the difficulty between a B1 level and B2. B2 will require you to do written, to answer written questions, so essays basically, which for a lot will not be a problem, but it makes it that much harder because I know a lot of people who are very proficient, walang problema speaking in English, answering questions in English, no issues with comprehension, but may not be as proficient in the written language, and that's actually quite normal. That people are more comfortable now with the speaking rather than the writing. It's a question of experience, really. Dahil kung hindi kayo nag-aral nga dito, then it could be that the written English, and if you don't also use it as often, so if you have a job profession that doesn't really require you to always write in English, not least in essays, then this may be more challenging for you, the B2. So ang payo ko, if you're entitled, if you can apply, then for goodness sake, apply now. Do not wait until it gets harder, which is the 26th of March 2027. Okay? So ang kailangan po, B1 pa rin, ang kailangan up until the 26th of March 2027. So clearly you can and you should. Sooner rather than later. Now, I'm sure we have some other questions. Tignan ko. Okay. Oh, this is a great one. Actually, I was toggling between this question and the other question that we actually dealt with as a star question that led to our topic. The reason being, it's this one also requires quite a lot of issues, so bear with me. So it's another big question. So ang question po niya ito, hello po, need ko lang po ng advice. Planning to travel to the UK this September to meet my fiance's family. Lots of people getting married, no? Great, yeah. Before our wedding next year in the Philippines. Congratulations. 1 month lang po ako doon and babalik din sa Pilipinas, no? Sa Philippines. We plan to apply for 6-month visit visa. But worried po kami, baka ma-decline. Okay? My fiance is a British citizen earning $23,000 per year and renting his own place. Ako naman po, more than 2 years na ako sa work, may savings and travel history in Asia. Okay? Concern lang po namin if sapat na siyang maging sponsor. Option din na sana, ma'am niya may property sa UK. But worried po kami na isipin ng embassy, magtatrabaho ako doon. First time ko po mag-apply, thank you. I like this question because it deals with, it raises different issues. So visit visa, no? Visit visa and income. Potentially spouse application or no fiancé application nga. So it's a great question. Now, let's start from the top. Okay? So for the visit visa, walang minimum income requirement. So kung nag-aalala kayo na okay, ang income nga lang niya 23,000, hindi yun sapat, hindi yung problema. And as a visit, if you're applying for a visit visa, there's no minimum income requirement. Pero kailangan yung pakita na pagka nandito ka, meron kang titiran. I mean, he's renting a place, so clearly yes. Tsaka yung pera niya sapat. At saka kung meron kang din pera, sabihin nyo din. Now, so for visit visa, the main issue, and tama ka, you got it exactly right, no? Na you're worried na baka ma-decline, ma-refuse nga kayo, might refuse ka because they may think that you're going to work in the United Kingdom. Intention is probably the most frequent reason for refusal, no? So you need to, pagka magpapasok kayo ng application, you need to make sure you address that top. And how do you do that? Itong tip ko, prepare a statement or at least a cover letter. Most of the time, ako, pagka nagpapasok ng application, most applications, I prepare statements for my client. So sasabihin mo doon, anong pangalan mo, saan ka nakatira, anong application ay sasabit mo, you're making an application in support your application for visit visa. No, that's usually my starting point. And usually I say when you submitted the application, for example, nga. Now, and then put it in headings. So hindi kayo malito. Normally I would start with circumstances, circumstances in the Philippines, or financial situation, or relationship nga. It's for you to set out how you want to put forward yung kaso mo nga. Normally ako, I would say, because you're saying you're making an application for visit visa, why? So sa'yo, you will probably say, I plan to visit the United Kingdom on whenever it is. You don't have to specify the date already, in about whenever, yeah, in order to visit my fiancé. Ilagay mong pangalan niya, of course, and to meet his parents. Okay? Importante sabihin mo, anong plano? No? I plan to stay for some 6 months. I mean, also sabihin mo, why are you staying for 6 months? No? You probably want to, in your case, you probably want to just ensure nga na you're compatible, for example, or that you want to be able to spend time with him and his family, no? And also, of course, it's quite a lot of expense. You want to also put that be able to travel, for example, kung yun. And also maybe he's taking time off. I don't know. No? Lagay nyo doon. Why 6 months? And yeah, why not 6 months if you do not have work commitments? And it could be, kailangan din pa sabihin doon, can you take time off? If you have a job, are you taking a sabbatical, for example, or you're quitting your job, going back again in 6 months' time, or nag-aaral ka ba? No? So, tama ka when you say here, no, baka sabihin nila, akala nila magtatrabaho ka dito. Explain that. No, you have and deal with it head on. I normally put actually a heading, as my subcategories, returning after visit, and then I say there, my plan is to just. It could be that you say, my plan is to visit the UK. These are my itinerary is this. I'm looking to visit wherever. I want to also spend time not just with my fiance, but also his family in wherever it is. Lagay mo doon, no? I of course plan to return to the Philippines and comply fully with my visa conditions, not least because not to do so would put my future application for a visit visa in jeopardy. Sabihin mo, well, why would you do that? No, why would you endanger, your application later on, say for fiance or a spouse, by overstaying in the United Kingdom? So lagyan mo din. Don't think that that's not, you shouldn't address it just in case they didn't think about it. They're always thinking about it. It is, they have to consider, and this is not criticism of the Home Office, but they have to consider, amongst other things, intention. And if you address it head on, then they see, oh, okay, we don't need to necessarily, hopefully they will say they don't necessarily need to worry about it. Now, let's say, and I hope that you can visit the UK nga, you make an application, you get your visit visa, everything goes swimmingly well, and you then want to marry, you then looking to marry nga, babalik ka, magpapakasal kayo. A reminder to you, the spouse minimum income requirement has changed. Just going back, sabi mo nga 23,000 ang income ng asawa mo. Oh, by the way, just going back a bit further, sabi mo, what about your mom? You don't need to choose, no? Pero kung ang bibisitahin mo nga dito is your fiance, he should be effectively your sponsor. No? You don't even need necessarily a sponsor, but there should be some reason why you're coming to the UK. I mean, some people because they just want to, but in your case, you're actually coming to visit your fiance. So it can be your fiance. It doesn't have to be yung nanay niya. You can also say you don't need to worry about the minimum income requirement for visit visa. But sabihin natin you then marry, umuwi ka sa Pilipinas, nandun kayo, nagpakasal kayo, papasok ka na dito. The 23,000 pounds na income niya will then be a problem. Because the minimum income requirement, of course, now, since December, I think 2023, went up to 29,000 pounds before tax. Yeah. So if he's getting 23,000, that falls quite below the minimum income requirement. Now, what to do? And now, sabi mo, you have savings. Okay, sabi mo din, may savings ka. Now, let's have a look at your savings. Sabi mo sa akin, ang savings, well, let's have a look at the income first. 23,000 nga. Let's say an income of 23,000 or slightly less. I've calculated that your savings, if you're making an application as a spouse or partner route, or indeed fiance, if you're looking to marry in the UK, ang savings na kailangan mo in order to satisfy the current minimum income requirement is 33,000 pounds. Okay? I've worked it out for you. 33,000 pounds. Now, those savings, of course, yeah, you can hold it in a Philippine account, but the savings must be held at least 6 months before making the application. And it mustn't dip low. So, for example, sabihin natin, you have savings of equivalent to 33,000 pounds. Today, you make an application today, it satisfies the minimum income requirement because 33,000 savings plus yung 23,000 niya satisfies nga. But in the course of, say, it then goes down, so in the past it's gone down to 33,000. Then the dip will means you can't rely on it. So it must be 33,000 pounds for at least 6 months. If it's any less than that, in the 6 months, then you can't rely on it. You have to start over the 6 months again. But it's 33,000 pounds, quite a bit of money. Okay. Now, in the past, you could rely on third-party support. So, nasabi mo, may nanay siya dito nga, and certainly in the past, I've argued that actually, they can provide for money towards rent, ganon, but that's changed somewhat, okay? You can only rely now on third-party support if and only if you have at the beginning, at the outset, nga, exceptional circumstances. And that's often the case where there are children involved, for example, no, or someone is sick. But otherwise, they will not. If you don't have exceptional circumstances, but you have someone who will simply say, "Nanay, I can help. I give you, I don't know, 500 pounds on a monthly basis, for example." Nga, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to be helpful because it's unlikely that I'm hoping that you're well and walang problema nga at yung fiancé mo likewise. If you're both healthy, you're working, you're capable, then they will say, there are no exceptional circumstances. In which case, the third party support, yung galing sa nanay niya, will not be accepted. So what do you do now? Now, it's good that you raise this now. He can, of course, get another job. No? So pwede niyang dagdagan nga yung income nga niya. I mean, see some, 6,000 pounds short, 23,000. So 6,000 pounds short, although it's not a small amount of money, that's approximately, obviously, gross 500 pounds on a monthly basis. So if he starts something now, then by the time you marry, you're looking to apply, they could be that he then satisfies the 29,000 pounds. Okay, if you do not have savings amounting to, jointly even 33,000 pounds. Okay, so that would be one thing. Or if there are exceptional circumstances, of course, yeah, you can put that forward. So maybe he has issues, for example, or you have issues, or you fall pregnant, no? But it has to be truly exceptional. The threshold of what they consider exceptional is quite high. So be careful in putting forward exceptional circumstances. By the way, if they accept, for all of you, if they accept that indeed there are exceptional circumstances and they grant you leave and you don't obviously satisfy the requirement or the requirements of a spouse visa, then it's very likely the visa they'll give to you is under what's called the 10-year route, which means rather than 5 years to get to indefinite leave to remain, they may require you to complete actually 10 years to get to indefinite leave to remain. But beware, as I say, increasingly the Home Office are reluctant to exercise their discretion in applicants' favor and to also consider circumstances to be exceptional. Their perhaps view of what's exceptional may differ from the normal, their view of what perhaps I would consider exceptional. So be careful. Be careful. I hope that was helpful. As I say, I was toggling between this, as a star question, or yung marrying in the UK. But I thought marrying in the UK, given that June is coming up, I wanted to use that as a topic. But well done on this question. Well done. Now, next question po natin. Good evening po, Samya. I'm currently here in England with a tourist visa. Great follow-up question, for 6 months. And I'm staying with my boyfriend. I just want to ask, if ever po na bumalik po ako dito sa UK, ano pong passport, I think you probably mean visa, ang pinakamabilis na process to get the visa na pati mag-work is pwede, Paano po kami sabay, kaming uuwi ng boyfriend ko after mag-end ng visa ko, and then may plano kaming bumalik. Okay, so unang-una, hindi ko alam anong status ng boyfriend mo. Maybe your boyfriend is British or someone with indefinite leave to remain. So, visit visa ka nga ngayon. Tama ka, hindi ka pwede magtrabaho dito. Visa is exactly that, simply to visit, and that's only for 6 months. And it's good that you are looking to go back, obviously, before the end of your visa. It's important that otherwise, especially with the change in what they call part suitability requirements to do with overstaying, breach of immigration condition, importante po ito, that you that you comply with your immigration conditions, okay? Because otherwise you may find that you are banned from coming back to the United Kingdom because of potentially just a minor breach, that it's open to them. So yun. So tama ka to be concerned about that. Now, anong mabilis, sabi mo? That's perhaps not really, I get asked this question fairly regularly, but that's not, I would say, the right starting point. The starting point should be, anong balak mo? What's the intention in coming to the UK? If you only looking to come back to the UK to again visit, then it should be a visit visa. And in some cases, that's kind of faster, but most applications are now not really fast. So visit visa, sure, that's a possibility. Another possibility would be, of course, get married there, kung yun ang plano nyo nga sa Pinas, and then come back to the UK as a spouse. In some cases, you can make use of the super priority service. There's an additional fee of, I think, still £1,000, which means that they normally, if the service is available, it's not always available, depends on how busy they are. But if it's available, then it's an application they can deal with within. They should be able to finish it within a matter of a few weeks, because you skip the queue, but you pay for that privilege, super priority nga. That would allow you then also to work in the UK if you have a spouse visa. If you're looking to come in as a fiancé, because dito kayo magpapakasal, you cannot work on a fiancé visa. It doesn't even matter if you come in as a fiancé, tapos magpakasal kayo, kasal na kayo, doesn't give you the right to work upon marriage. It gives you the right, you only obtain the right to work in the UK once you have a spouse visa. Pagka napalitan nyo na. But you have to wait until it's actually then changed to a spouse visa. So in your case, if you're looking to work in the UK, sure, spouse visa is a possibility. If you you can potentially look at skilled worker route, but that's also changed, considerably in the last 12 months. So the RQF level has gone up from level 3 to level 6. So there are less jobs available that would that you could get with a certificate of sponsorship nga. So yung question mo nga, ano bang mas mabilis? That's perhaps not the correct starting point. Unang-una, what's the purpose? If the purpose is to be able to live in the UK, and with that stay with your boyfriend, or indeed your husband by then you should look at the spouse visa. If you're looking to work in the UK, then you need to consider skilled worker route. But a visit visa, tama ka, does not allow you to work. Okay? And there's no real speed as such, but unless your application comes within the super priority ambit, like a spouse visa application. But speed is not, the Home Office is not really renowned for speed. So I get what you mean, and about being concerned about delay. Anyway, good luck. Let me know what happens. Now, I don't know if we have any other questions. I think that may be it in the way of questions. And I don't also know whether we have any other greeters, because last time May Tibawaga sabi niya, Happy Easter to everyone. Happy Easter, May. Oh yeah, I mean, look, Easter is great, and I still remember, sa Pinas nga, especially Easter time, ang saya, I remember processions, mga kandila, you're walking, with trying not to get burned by the wax coming down on your hands. I remember Easter in the Philippines fondly. So I hope you had a good Easter nga. Lorna Diesta. Sabi, hi, Attorney Lira. Sabi niya, kamusta kayo and your family? Miss Diesta. Ay, kamusta? Are you well? I'm well, Good evening to your viewers too, sabi niya. Miss Diesta, I hope you're not working too hard, madam. She's always working. Always working, Always working. Now, gosh, it always goes so fast, no? But anyway, thank you very much for keeping me company. It's been my pleasure always, no, to be with you on this Thursday evening. I hope that you join me again next week. And that just leaves me really to say thank you again po, no? Salamat po to watching, keeping me company, and of course to the viewers who very kindly posted their questions. I hope you found them helpful. And kung meron kayong mga questions for next week, just email it to me. Hopefully by Wednesday, and then from there I will choose our star question, and hopefully that's more helpful to you, because obviously we unpack it more so than the other questions if you get the star question, and never mind also the bragging rights that come with it, no? And salamat po to the Facebook groups for allowing us to post our contents on their pages. Salamat po uli. But otherwise, it just leaves me really to say thank you again, and my belated happy Easter to everyone nga who celebrate. And I hope that you're well, and I hope that especially makabayan natin na nasa Pilipinas. I hope that you're well, and that things are okay. Our thoughts, and prayers for you. So yeah, salamat po for keeping me company. I hope that you'll be able to join me again next week on our Thursday get together from 7:30 onwards. Otherwise, thank you again. No, salamat po, and I hope that you'll be able to join me at Lira and Low, same time, same place. Good night.